Apart from automobile accidents, the most common type of accident that results in injury that people come to us for is what we would call premises liability cases. They're either trip and fall accidents or slip and fall accidents that occur on someone's property. It can either be a private property owner, a home, or it can be commercial property like a supermarket or other type of establishment of that nature. Or the third type would be on governmental property. The most common that we see are trip and fall accidents which occur on public sidewalks. Most people feel, understandably, when they're injured on somebody's property, tripping and falling or slipping and falling, that that property owner, whether it's a governmental entity, a commercial owner, or a private property owner, is automatically responsible for whatever injuries result. But that, unfortunately, isn't the law. What we have to do is, given our experience, is to prove various things. In a trip and fall accident that occurs on a sidewalk or other public property, a lot of challenges in those cases because we have to prove not only that it was an unreasonably dangerous condition that existed that caused the accident, but we also have to prove that the governmental entity either didn't have a reasonable inspection program or that the condition was there for a sufficient time that the governmental entity should have known about it and should have repaired it or given adequate notice to a person like you who's injured on that sidewalk or other public property. The challenges that we have in those cases is governmental entities with budgetary shortfalls and cuts will always claim budgetary poverty, and therefore even if a dangerous condition exists, that they don't have adequate funds to have people out inspecting those sidewalks or the public property to put them on notice of the condition. And therefore what you have to do, and what people do who are experienced in handling these cases like our law firm, is you have to be creative and figure out ways to establish notice on the governmental entity. An example of that is on a trip and fall on a sidewalk, although the governmental entity will assume that they can defeat that claim because they didn't have anybody out there walking the sidewalks to put them on notice of it, will oftentimes find either water meters or other things that are in the area that governmental employees were there within 30 days of the accident, and will be able to, through depositions or other discovery, establish that those governmental employees had responsibilities to keep an eye out for potentially dangerous conditions, and therefore having those employees in the area shortly before the accident will be able to use to establish that notice or that responsibility. That's just one example of the challenges that are faced by people like you who are injured in these types of cases, and the reason why it's really very important that you find lawyers like our law firm that are experienced in handling these cases so that we can impose responsibility on those property owners and recover for you a fair and adequate compensation for the harms and damages that you've suffered as a result of your accident.